Getting fired while pregnant was the best thing that happened. My boss called me into his office on a Tuesday afternoon when I was 7 months along. I waddled in expecting another lecture about productivity metrics. Instead, he slid a termination letter across his desk without even looking at me. "We're restructuring," he said flatly. "Your position has been eliminated." I stared at the paper. "Restructuring? I'm the top performer on my team for 3 years running. The decision has been made." He finally looked up and his eyes dropped to my belly. "You should focus on your family anyway. This is probably a blessing." My blood ran cold. I'd watched him do this to 2 other pregnant women in the past year. Both times he claimed restructuring. Both times their positions were filled within weeks by someone younger and cheaper and decidedly not pregnant. I signed nothing that day. I took the letter and walked out without another word. My husband was furious when I told him. He wanted to call a lawyer immediately, but I told him to wait. I needed to think strategically because anger makes people sloppy, and I refused to be sloppy. The next morning, I filed a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. I documented everything. Every performance review where I exceeded expectations. Every email praising my work. Every award I'd received. Then I started reaching out to other women he'd fired. The first one had moved and didn't want to revisit the trauma, but the second was still local and still angry. Her name was Theodora, and she'd been fired at 8 months pregnant just 14 months before me. "I knew I should have fought back," she said over coffee, "but I was so exhausted and scared and just wanted to focus on my baby. What if we fought back together?" I asked. Theodora stared at me for a long moment, then she smiled. "Tell me what you need." We found a third woman, then a fourth. All fired while pregnant or within weeks of announcing their pregnancies. All given the same restructuring excuse. All replaced quickly by non-pregnant employees. Our lawyer nearly fell out of her chair when we presented the evidence. "This is textbook pregnancy discrimination," she said. "With 4 plaintiffs showing a clear pattern, this becomes a class action lawsuit." My former boss didn't take it seriously at first. His lawyers sent a dismissive response calling our claims baseless. They offered $10,000 each to make us go away. We rejected it immediately. Discovery was brutal for him. Every email he'd sent was subpoenaed. Every HR complaint was examined. Every hiring decision for the past 5 years was scrutinized. They found messages discussing how to eliminate pregnant employees without triggering legal liability. They found a spreadsheet tracking which women of childbearing age might become problems. They found texts to his golf buddies joking about running a daycare instead of a marketing firm. The company tried distancing themselves from him. They claimed he acted alone and didn't represent their values. But evidence showed executives knew exactly what he was doing and looked the other way because his department saved money by pushing out experienced employees. My daughter was born 2 weeks before the trial started. I testified with her pictures on my phone as motivation. Theodora testified about the depression she experienced after being fired. The other women shared similar stories of financial hardship and emotional devastation. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. They awarded us $7.2 million in damages. My former boss was fired immediately. The company issued a public apology and implemented mandatory discrimination training. Local news covered the verdict extensively, but the money wasn't the best part. After the verdict went public, I received over 200 messages from women across the country sharing their own stories. Some were inspired to file complaints. Others just needed to know someone had fought back and won. I used part of my settlement to start a nonprofit helping pregnant women navigate workplace discrimination. Theodora joined as co-director. We've assisted over 300 women in the past 2 years. My daughter is almost 3 now. Sometimes I tell her how getting fired led to changing laws and helping hundreds of families. She doesn't understand yet, but someday she will. That termination letter hangs framed in my office as a reminder that the worst moments can become foundations for the best chapters. My former boss tried getting hired at another marketing firm last year. They Googled his name and found every article about our lawsuit. Nobody would touch him. Last I heard, he was selling insurance in a strip mall. Sometimes karma takes its time. Sometimes you have to help it along.